I had a moment this morning while I was drinking my delicious come and go coffee. And I wanted to talk about delusion. Especially, like, we're dealing with a lot of mass delusion, I think, in society. I think a lot of self-delusion because of social media. Maybe this video is an example of it. And I'm deluded because I think people give a shit what I think. But alas, it is the age. So I wanted to talk about delusion in my given field, in martial arts. Never have I ever seen anybody say that they practice football and insinuate that they're going to be in the NFL because they practice football. Never have I seen somebody say, hey, I do a little bit of half court down at the park. I'm going to play in the NBA. This is kind of contrary to a message that I typically send, which is you can do anything that you set your mind to. This is true. I'm walking proof of it because myself and a group of 4 people who had no idea what they were doing, for the most part, put together a team that eventually went on to compete at the highest levels in mixed martial arts, which in itself is crazy to think about now. But it is not the status quo. And the thing that differentiated us from other people like us, was our ability to work, our work ethic, our desire, our drive. I have seen for years, and I'm continuing to see, and I will continue to see, people that walk into mixed martial arts gyms, or don't walk into a gym at all, hardly train and decide to take amateur and professional level fights. I've never really understood the level of delusion that it takes to make yourself believe that you're a fighter and get into a cage with another human being who's probably most likely prepared. But the delusion is real, and I call these people poster fighters. The poster fighters, or the people that love gloating about their exploits in the bar, they're not interested in a UFC title. They're not interested in a Bellator title. They're not interested in a ONE FC title. They're not interested in really any of that. They're interested in being seen by their local friends and by people at their local watering hole as a fighter. They want to be the big man on campus, and they're probably feeling some kind of insecurity that they've had inside of themselves for a long time. By going around and saying, I'm a fighter. Look, because I can throw a football in a decent spiral doesn't mean that I could play on the NFL. Just because I can hit 1 out of 4 3-pointers down at my local YMCA doesn't mean that I could compete in the NBA or college or even a high-level high school team. And yet, the fragile, insecure male ego leads hundreds, maybe thousands of people across the country and the world into martial arts gyms to entertain a delusion that they are somehow the toughest guy in the world. This usually comes from them standing in front of their bathroom mirror and awkwardly flexing and reinforcing themselves that they're some kind of big man, and somehow fighting is going to help you do that. Lightning strike. It's not, and you're likely to get hurt. And the interesting thing is, I see a lot of these guys come into gyms and they posture and they say things that they think that they're supposed to say, and they be tough guys that they think that they're supposed to be. And the real true alpha males and females that exist within that realm, the people that train every single day, sometimes twice a day, and they adopt the lifestyle and they live it, they're not impressed by you. In fact, they're made uncomfortable by you. They don't have any respect for somebody who's trying to take what they've worked hard for and earned when that person hasn't earned it. But I still see it to this day, just like I saw it back in the day. The person that comes in, they say they're a fighter. They say they want to fight. They train for a few months, and then they start maybe even taking fights without a coach asking, and now they're representing that coach. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand how you could be so stupid that the one profession that you shouldn't pick, you do pick. and you posture and you front and you pretend to be this character that you're not, at your own potential risk of injury. It's crazy to me. I don't want to say I can't explain it, because I can't explain it. It is the fragile male ego. But man, use your fragile male ego to pick some other kind of course. If what you're doing is trying to be seen as more manly or more tough or more relevant, you probably have some foundational character building that needs to be done before you get into a gym and have somebody who's trained to simulate murder beat the living shit out of you. Most of the time, these people that come in and take their lickings, they leave with their tail between their legs, and then they go off into society and go, yeah, I train at this gym. Yeah, I train at this gym. No, you don't. You trained at this one gym one time. You got your ass kicked. You got a big reality check. And now you go out there and you confirm your fragile male ego by pretending like you still train at this gym or you still represent this gym. No better than that is the person that comes, signs up for their tuition, automatically assumes by some form of default that if they are paying tuition at an MMA gym that they can now fight for that MMA gym. I've seen this a million times. Coach, do you think I'm ready to fight? No, I don't. I think you should wait a year, since you have zero experience, at very minimum, maybe 18 months before you accept your first fight and jump into this environment. You need to be prepared. 2 months later, so-and-so is representing blah, 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 blah out of yo. This person goes out and gets a fight, even against their coach's best wishes, and still is going to walk out and represent the gym that they're at. It's pathetic. Men of the world and men of America, grow up. Your fighting ability does not equate to your man card or your level of manhood. It does not. What does? Working hard on anything, attaining some level of accomplishment, having some pride in a craft, having a hobby or some kind of form of art that you're able to express yourself on a high level. Being a father is a good way to be a man. Taking part in your community and caring about your fellow man is a way to be a good man. Fronting and posturing and pretending like you're a fighter, much to the dismay of your own bodily injury, is not a way to prove your manhood. Please, stop this charade. Stop coming into my gym pretending like you're something that you're not. And if you are going to make the claim that you are so tough, you better be willing to back it up, because the real motherfuckers in that gym are going to know whether you're real or not, and society and your life will judge you based on your actions or the delusions that you entertain. Please, let's work on these fragile male egos. Let's work on the insecurities that we hold. And if you guys have enough fire and enough anger and enough demons within you to channel it into a fighter, and you believe that you can be a world champion, or if you can believe that you can just be a champion of any kind of life, of help, of coaching, of mentorship, then come into the gym. But if you're coming into the gym so that someday you might attain the great privilege of being on a regional or a local fight poster, save your time and put your energy into something more productive, and something that won't get your face caved in or your orbital broken or your nose smashed or your jaw broke or ribs broken or legs broken half and thousands of dollars in medical bills just to prove to yourself that you're somehow manly. Like I said, in modern society, there's a lot of ways to do that don't end up with your physical injury or somebody else's. So man up in 2021 going into 2022, and don't be a faker. I can tell you this right now. I've been training in mixed martial arts for a long time. I have a lot of respect from people in my gym as somebody who's very skilled and potentially very dangerous. And I'm telling you right now, if you want to be a man, don't lie to yourself. That's step number one. Be honest with yourself. Real men are comfortable enough to be honest with themselves. And I forever have more respect for the man that comes up to me and goes, you know what? I couldn't do what you do. That's it's crazy that you're able to get into a cage. That's not me. Well, you know what? You're the fucking man. Thank you for being honest. You have more balls than the people that come into my gym and pretend like they have balls. So, please, recharacterize your view of manhood going into the next year, and maybe we can get rid of a lot of this insecurity and this ego that helps hold our world down. I will lay this claim down. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it probably till they put me in the ground. The reason for most of the problems in the world stem from the fragile male ego or insecurities within men. In men, I'm discriminating. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you about it. I can't trace most major world wars back to a woman who was upset. I can trace a lot of scorn to women that are upset, but they're not usually out there championing to swing their weapons around and prove who the big man on campus is. And the irony is, a lot of these people, a lot of these men that do cause these problems, they wouldn't last 5 minutes in my environment even. So please, shape up.